Welcome back. Today I wanted to check out the Westminster Mall that was closing at the end of November, and it turned into a quest to see 3 dead malls in one day.
So who can argue with saving money, especially in this economy? Well, now there is...
NBC4's Hetty Chang has this for-your money report from Orange County, which is one of the most expensive counties to live in the country.
We're here at Westminster Mall, which is actually a story in itself because it's closing to be redeveloped, but we're here to check out a consignment store.
Today I had a request from a viewer who wanted me to get some footage of the JC Penneys at the Westminster Mall before it closes on November 16, 2025. After doing so, it was only natural for me to visit the Westminster Mall, which is going to be suffering the same fate as its anchor store. I had visited this mall previously in September of 2025 to bring you some new footage of this mall, as well as document my last visit to this place before it shuts down at the end of the year. Stay tuned for a complete video history of this mall, which will be coming out on January 20th, 2026. So please set your VCR, TiVo, or DVR for that date. So I thought that going in September would be the final time that I would stop by, but it turns out that I was pretty wrong. In fact, the pictures you see here are more updated than the pictures you will see in the history video. I guess the irony here is that the upcoming video will be a true history video. Well, literally 1 month later, it being October of 2025, here I am again, visiting the mall one last time. No, really, this is the last time. Many of the stores that I have seen open during my last visit were closed and store shelves were empty. JC Penneys and Target had closed their entrances to the mall, making it frustrating for those who want to go into the mall. Although many of the stores have closed and there are quite a lot of empty storefronts, there are a few stores that remain open. Most of the stores have been clearancing out their merchandise with banners stating that the stores are closing, but there are some stores that seem oblivious to the inevitable end to the mall and continue to run their business like business as usual. The denim store downstairs, the arcade, and a few others, to name a few. I visited the mall on Saturday and there were more people than usual at the mall. Some were recording content for their documentation of their last visit to this mall. Others were to get a deal at the last of the closing stores. I had come to visit the Small Wonder store on the bottom level near the Old John's Incredible location, but they were closed, and inside you could see the owner and some of her friends and family packing up the last of her inventory, perhaps donating it all to her local Goodwill. Most of the stores have started their final sales that will eventually lead to them eventually closing their stores. I talked to a sales associate at the JC Penneys, and they're now finishing up their final sales, including selling the fixtures as well as the mannequins. It's very eerie when you see all of these empty storefronts and the lights are still on some of the store signs. But for the most part, it is pretty empty as well, and you can see people laying around and walking around too as well, and some other stores that are still in business, as well as some of the old iconic stores like that Fredericks of Hollywood. Decided to go outside and take a last look at all the storefronts outside in the store buildings, and you can see where all the signs have changed, and really it's kind of gone hill from there. Lots of open space, and it is kind of sad that, you know, this once great mall is now going to be closing pretty soon, except maybe Target. There's the Sears. I stopped in front of the old Sears building and looked inside, and as you can see, it's been pretty run down and graffiti all over the inside. So I left this mall and decided to head on over to the next mall. After leaving the mall, decided to go to the Buena Park Mall, another mall down the street, which is probably about 13 or so miles away if you're taking surface streets. So we decided to go to the Buena Park Mall, and again, this is another quiet mall, and I would call it dead because there's not a lot of people there, considering this was a Saturday, and The only traditional anchor at this mall would be the Walmart, which has closed their entrance to the mall. And you can only go into the mall through the outside. And then there's some empty storefronts as well. I mean, there's a Ross, Burlington, TJ Maxx. And those are the traditional kind of stores that try to bring the people in. And then, of course, Ross Dress for Less. And then they have the John's Incredible, I believe. I got to this mall around probably about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And as you can see, there's really nobody walking around this mall. This mall is a really nice mall. I do like it. And it is technically a single story, but it does have a subterranean level below. And there you go. There's the John's Incredible. And then as you can see over there, you can see the Sears. And the Sears signage is still up, even though the whole building is closed. And then again, walking around, you can see that, again, it is pretty dead for a Saturday evening. And other than that, you can even see the store Sears is still on the directory as well. But again, I'm going to be walk through this really quick so I could move along to the next mall. And you can still see the Halloween decorations. And again, this is a really nice mall. I like it. I came here back in the late 80s, early 90s to go to a card show. And there's the empty Claire's. So they did close some of the Claire's stores, even though some of them are brought back. But come on with me and we're gonna go take a look at the next mall. The third and final mall is the Puente Hills Mall, aka the Twin Pines Mall or the Lone Pine Mall, or some call it the Back to the Future Mall, which that's what I call it. And today I wanted to show you the iconic scene where Michael J. Fox skates down the hill at 1:16. And as you can see, the parking lot's full. There's the old Robinson's building that you see in the iconic movie. Here's the front entrance. And believe it or not, there was actually a lot of people there. This is the first time I've actually ever seen the parking lot busy. And there were actually people in the mall. And the reason for that is because there was a celebration going on for the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future. I had actually gone on October 25th, 2025, and it was a celebration, 40th celebration of the iconic movie there. And there were fans and people there showing up for the events. There's me in front of the iconic Twin Pines Mall sign with the lights, of course, not on. And then there was a line waiting to meet some of the former cast members who were in the movie. Not any of the main characters, but more of the stunt people and all that. Again, people were there to get autographs, sign pictures, take pictures. And there were a lot of people in cosplay dressed up like some of the characters, of course, Marty McFly. And then went upstairs just so you could see the view. The mall is actually rather dark. I've never been there at night, and well, the last time I was there at night was back in 1999, and when it was really packed, and that's where the place to go. Now it's pretty much just an empty ghost town, and normally I'd probably think that they keep this mall open just for a little bit and they close at night. But I got here around 6:30, and you can see the former Sears side there. That's all like blocked off now. And then again, there's a lot of people down below. And it was just, again, this is the upstairs where the former Macy's was. They've blocked off that entrance as well as the escalators. So there's only 2 working escalators at the whole mall. And then you can see all the empty booths downstairs, the former kiosks. But there was a lot of people standing in line to meet and greet. And then as we were heading out, you can see that line. And it's great. You know, it's good to see that there are actually people going to this mall once again. And it's too bad it has to be a special event like this in order for people to actually go to this mall. And I mean, I come here as often as I can. And then of course, I always like to take pictures with the iconic sign there. And there was a line actually, believe it or not, to go take pictures at the sign. Normally when I'm there, there's nobody there. And then as we walk out, there's the buffet. next door that is completely, everything is still there. All the place settings, the napkins and everything, as if they're ready to open it up again, but we all know that's not true. And again, this completes my trifecta, the third mall in 6 hours, believe it or not. Not one day, it's actually 6 hours that I did this. So I wanted to say thank you for taking that journey with me. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.